Hi dear students, what are helping verbs? What are helping verbs? In previous class, we have studied helping verbs and lexical verbs. That means main verb and helping verb. But we have just studied only the lexical verb in detail in that class. Here, what we are just going to do is to learn helping verbs in detail. Okay, so you might have an idea about what's lexical verb and what's helping verb. However, let's go to the helping verbs here in deep. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Introduction. Modal verbs, and also known as helping verbs, are an important part of learning English. They are important because they are very common in writing and conversation. Also, they are used in all verb tenses. So, without modal verbs, without auxiliary verbs, we cannot complete some sentences in English. So, it's very important. And look at the next one. All the auxiliary verbs except be, do, and have are called modals. Some auxiliary verbs are given here, that is be, to, and have. All other verbs other than this are known as modals. Unlike other auxiliary verbs, modals only exist in their helping form. They cannot act alone as the main verb in a sentence. So, in most of the sentences, this auxiliary verb needs a main verb to act it correctly. Be, do, and have also differ from the other auxiliaries in that they can also serve as ordinary verb in a given sentence. First of all, what does modal mean? Modal means expressing mode. Modal means expressing mode. We have different type of expression in our phrase. The same way, some verbs have different type of expression in its behavior. Here you look, there are 9 phases. Every phase is different from one another. Mode, a way to express the attitude of the speaker to what is being said. In order to say something, we will have to change the shape of our face. The same way, in a sentence, this mood is always changing. That is doing the verb that is known as modal verb. Modal verbs are special verbs which behave very differently from normal verbs. Normal verbs means main verb, like that. Modal verb, auxiliaries. In English, can, could, may, might, must, ought to, shall, should, will, would are modals. These are modal verbs. They are classified into following table. Can, could, may, might, must, ought to, shall, should, will, would. You must just learn this one very well. They are classified into following table. Present form of some modal verbs and its past form also given here. Can is the present form and past can be used as the could can be used as the past form of can. Will change as would. Shall, should, may, might, must, have to. Must also we can use as have to. You, for example, you must learn English, and also in this way also we can say it. You have to learn English. Meanings are same. You must learn English. You have to learn English. It is just showing a duty. Have to. Okay. And at the same time, must is just showing a compulsory activity. However, the meaning is not so much different. It is going parallel way. Had to, ought to, ought to. Okay. Oughted will not be used. Ought to, ought. Same way we are using. So, just keep in mind these verbs and also its past form. Okay. Modal verbs. Always you just look at the spelling of the word modal, not el. M-O-D-E-L. E-L is another word. The meaning also is different. But here M-O-D-A-L. Modal verbs. Shall, should, may, might, must, ought to, will, would, can, could. Okay, this way is just showing another table. Introduction. Modals are different from normal verbs. Modal verbs do not take yes in the third person. For example, he can speak Chinese. What really we are doing in a present tense? This is a present tense, speak. But if it is simple present, what we are doing? We are just adding yes here. We are just adding an yes here, speak. He speaks Chinese. But in the case of using this modal verb, we are not using yes. That is given here. You see, modal verbs do not take yes in the third person. He cannot. In third person means normally if it is in present simple present tense, the third person is subject here, so we are using yes with the verb. Here he can speak Chinese. He can speaks. We can't say that he can speaks. Only we can say he can speak Chinese. She should come. She comes. Really, it is she comes, but there is a modal verb here. She should come here by 9 o'clock. So we are not using comes. While we are using modal verbs, we need not use yes with the verb. That is the first rule. The second one, you use not to make modal verbs negative even in simple present and simple past. Use not to make modal verbs negative. He should not go late. He should not go late. He should not go late. They might not come to the party. Who says this? Somebody saying he should not go late. So use not to make modal verbs negative. So if you want to make a negative sentence of the verb, what we have to use? Use a not. This not. Using the not, where we have to use this not? Not with the main verb. Be very careful. We are not using not with the main verb. We are using only not with the auxiliary verb. He should go not. We will not say like that. We won't say like that. What? He should go not late. Okay. How we are saying he should not go late. This is the second rule. So just take care of it. They might not come to the party. They might not. So we are using not with the modal verb. To form questions, the modal verb itself can be before sentence by changing the order. Here, to form questions. So if you are asked to make a question, to form questions, it is very easy to make questions if there is a modal verb in the sentence. Okay. So what we have to do? Just bring that modal verb into first. Just bring all the modal verbs into first. Then we can make a question of that sentence. For example, here you see, just search for the modal verb in a sentence. So pick it out from that, from the middle or from in between the words, and just bring it to first. This way we can make the question of that sentence. Example, he can go with us. Can he go with us? What we have done here? We just took this can out. We just took this can out and just put it before the sentence, before the starting of the sentence. How? Can he go with us? No other changes. No other changes. Only what we have to do is just bring the modal verb into first of the sentence so that we can make the question form. In every case, it's the same way we are just doing. We should start packing our things. What we have to do? What we have to do? Because there is a modal verb here in the sentence, so just pick it out and put it in the first of the beginning of the at the very beginning of the sentence. So let's make a question. Correct. We should start packing our things. What we have done here? Just you see, should be kept here in the first of the just at the beginning of the sentence, and the other part of the sentence just right here directly. Then we will get the question. Should we start packing our bags? Should we start? You see, no other changes. We is here. Start packing our things. Start packing our things, our bags. Okay. Should we start? No other changes. Incorrect. So some students will use as it in a wrong way. How? Do we should? Do we? No need to use do. Okay. So if there is a helping verb, an auxiliary verb in a sentence, then what we have to do is just bring that auxiliary verb into the first of the sentence. This is very easy. And English modal verbs are used together with the base form of another verb. May, leave, if you wish, must, finish. Every time if you use may, must, everything, then the next main verb should be in present tense. Okay. You may left. It is not correct. Leave, left, left. Okay. You may left. It is not correct. So every time we have to use present tense after the modal verb. What modal verb? Yes, English modal verbs are used together with the base form of another verb. This is the base form, that is the present form of the verb. In this present form or the base form of the verb, we are using what? This auxiliary verbs. The fifth one. English modal verbs have only one form. You don't have to add ing or ed or s to them. That means with must, it will not use musting. With must, we will not use mustard. With must, we will not use musts. Okay. So this is another rule. Correct. We must go now. We are musting go now. It's not correct. All these things are very simple. However, just make you out what it is. I am just describing it a little bit clearly. Just follow me. They said we could park here. They said we could park here. Okay. This type of ed or s we will not use with the modal verbs. She can help us. She can help us. Okay. Correct and incorrect. Use of modal. Should. Then here you see some modals. Some modals, for what purpose we are using some modals. Should. What is the role of should? Should is used for an advice. Must used for compulsion. Ought to, moral duty. In previous grammar book it is showed that ought to is just also showing the compulsion better than the must. Okay. So but now in some other grammar books it is showing that ought to is it is used for moral duty. Anyway, look at it. Should, advice. You ought to study every day. You must do your homework. Ought to, we ought to obey the laws. It's an advice. You should study every day. You must do your homework. You ought to obey the laws. Here it is not ought to, it is should. Can, able to. Can, what we told? Can, able to, permission. Can, able to, permission. Able to also can means to able to, and it is also used for permission. I can't do this work easily. That it is showing his ability to do that work. Can, I can't do this work easily. And also we can use this for any permission. For example, sir, can I go there? Can I read now? Can I go to library? Can I do for you? All these are using for permission. Okay. So can be used in both ways to show that he is able to do something and also to ask for permission. Could, it is showing just to ability, to show the ability. Could, ability. I could use computer in internet cafe. I could use computer in internet cafe. That means what? He can use, he is able to use computer. He is able to use computer. May, permission, possibility, probability. These three things are the usage of may. May I go to bedroom? Is a permission. I may do it. Possibility, probability. Okay. So these are some usages of the modal verbs. Used to and would. This. Used to. Used to, would. These two verbs. Not specific. I used to dance in festivals. Used to does not show a specific time, but we can understand that from this word it is used in past. Used to normally used to show it was an habitual action of the person speaking in his early days, but not now at the time of speaking. Okay. So used to used for that purpose. For example, I used to play cricket when I was in 5th grade. Example, I used to play cricket. For example, you see the example. I used to play cricket when I was in 5th grade. Now you are in second degree students. You are a second degree student. So you are not playing cricket now. That means you used to play before but not now. This is the usage of used to. I used to dance festival. Specific. Would is showing a specific. When I was child, I would go to the park. I would go to the park. Something specific. Would also here. After school, I would go to music classes. It was also an habitual action. As something specific, after school, I would go to music classes. Used to not specific time. He used to get up early, daily. That time he has done so, but not now. Okay, he used to get up early, daily. Use of modals. Asking for and giving permission. Can be used for asking a permission. Asking for giving permission. If anybody is asking you a permission, what we will do? You will asking for permission. You will have to give him permission. So how you can use that words, that sentence? This is what we are just going to learn here. We can use to ask for and give a permission. You can drive the car. You can drive. If you say to somebody else that you can drive a car, means you can drive the car, means you are just giving the permission to drive that car. Okay, so for example, the car is yours and you are just handing over that key to that person and says to him, and you are just saying to that person that what you can just drive the car. Okay, that means that you are just going to permission to drive the car to that person. Here the permission, you can drive the car. Could, to ask permission when you are not sure what the answer will be. Could is used to asking for a permission when you are not sure what the answer will be. For example, the class is going on and you are a little bit late to enter the class. At that time, the teacher, sometime you will be given permission or sometime you will be rejected. Okay, this time you are in doubt. That time you can use could I enter. May also can be used. Could I enter? Okay, so it is asking for permission when you are not sure. When you are not sure, that is very important. When you are not sure what the answer will be. May, to ask for, give a permission in formal situations. Most of the students are coming to the class just asking this question: May I come in, sir? May I come in, sir? May I come in, sir? So why we are using may that time? You can also use could, but may is more formal. May is more formal. That's why we have to use or we are using may is to ask permission such a time in such a situation. Okay, you may take notes. You may take notes. That means it's formal. You can take notes also can be used, but this is formal. You may take notes. Okay. Use of modals for advice, duty, should and ought to. To talk about obligations and duties in the future, present and past. These two words are used for advice and duty. You should go to the doctor is an advice to your sometime your friend is sick and he is still in bed, not ready to go to the doctor. That time you can just advise him to go and see a doctor. Here what you can use, you should go to the doctor. You should go to the doctor. It's an obligation at the same time, it's an advice. He should do his homework. He should do his homework. You ought to obey the laws. Where what it is? It is the obligation. It is the obligation. It is his duty. You ought to obey the laws, rules and regulations. Mother ought to care her children. It is not the duty of the mother. Also, the father can the father can also do the same thing. But here, normally, rule is what is that? That is an unwritten law that mother. It is the duty of mother to take care of her children. But it is the duty can be also done by the father too. Okay. Mother ought to care her children. Mother ought to care her children. So next, for compulsion and necessity, what we are using must. Talk about present and future compulsion and necessities that come from the speaker. You must finish your lunch. You must finish your lunch, asking about what the listener wants you to do. Must I eat this food? Telling people not to do. You must not throw garbage here. So all these situations, in all these situations we are using must. Okay, must in order to show a compulsion, then to want the listener to do something, then telling people not to do something, you are using must. Okay. For advice and request, would is a better word to use in a situation of advice and request. To talk about past habits and repeated actions but not about past tenses. I would swim after school. I would swim after school. To talk about the past habits and repeated action but not about the past tenses. It is past habit, not past tense. Okay, this is the difference. You just look at it very carefully. Not the past tense, it is about past habits. The modal verbs would is used to give advice. The modal verb would is used to give advice. Also in this context also we are using would. In this situation the speaker is giving hypothetical advice as if she or he were the listener. Okay, for example, if I were you, I would return the book. What's the meaning were here? Sometimes you will be confused because we are using what we are using. We are using were, we are using was with I that we have learnt earlier. You see, I was, not I were. We are not using I were. But in listen here. But in some contexts, we are using were with I. Why? In which context we are using such a way? You see, if it is not possible to be so, that type of situation we are using. In that type of situation we are using were. For example, if I were the Prime Minister of India, I am telling you now, if I were the Prime Minister of India, I would just go for a pact with the China. Now the issue is now going on between India and China, So the example is if I were the Prime Minister, I know that I am not the Prime Minister of India and I will not become the Prime Minister of India in the nearest future. So in this context we are using if I were you. Okay, I would return the book. If I were you, I would not wear that jacket. So the person who is talking to the friend is not the person who is being told. So this type of situation, this type of context we can use if I were you. Okay. Would you like is used to make offers. Would you like something to drink? Would you like another coffee? If you want to share with your friends, if you want to ask your friend to have a coffee or to have a drink, in this context you can use would. You can just start the sentence with using would. Would you like something to drink? Would you like another coffee? I would like is used to make polite request. Would like also used for polite request. I would like another glass of water, please. And you are just going to a hotel and you like to have a glass of water, then you can ask the waiter, I would like another glass of water, please. You see, so it is the request and it is not the mere request, it is a polite request. Okay. Next, can, could, may, might, must, should, would. Can, could, must. This one what? M and M, may and might. May and might. Would, should. Present, can, could, will be able to. This is showing ability. Can is a modal verb as follows. Can is used to show ability. I can play, I could play. Then 10 years ago, could is past, so 10 years ago, that's why we used this 10 years ago, that is past. I'll be able to play the piano when I finish my piano class. Can is used to make request. Can you pass the salt please? Can you turn off the music? Everything is used for as a request. Could for ability. It is an important modal verb in English. It is used for ability, possibility and request. What is that? Could for ability. Could is the past tense of can. These models are used to show ability. For example, I can play guitar. I could play guitar when I was singer. Could not. It's contract as couldn't. This form is known as contracted form. Contracted form means it's a short form. Could not. The short form of could not. Not we are writing, but in short we are writing n comma t. Okay, could not. Could not finish my work yesterday. I could not swim when I was a child. Could for request, also used for request. Could you please pass the salt? Could you turn down the music? Could also used for possibility, express a degree of possibility. I could rain, it could rain today, but I am not sure. A possibility is maybe, it may be raining today, but not sure. So it could rain today, but I am not sure. That could be Tom's brother. He looks like Tom. You are just making a comment on a person, saying that, just pointing out a person that could be Tom's brother, but not sure. Okay, maybe his brother or not. That could be Tom's brother. He looks like Tom. Why? You are just predicting like that because he looks like Tom. So it's a prediction, not sure. That could be Tom's brother. In this context also we can use could. The modal can or could is used to express ability. Already we told. Can play, have made, could have made, could have. After the could have, we have to use verb 3, made. Could have done, could have made, could have gone, could have written, like that. Okay. The team could have made better shoots. May and might. May and might are modal verbs that are used to show possibility. They act like the words may be. This means the speaker is not sure of the outcome. May and might. Tom, will you go to the party tonight? Maybe. Okay, not sure. Maybe. Sometime he will go, sometime he will avoid it. Okay, maybe. Will you go to the party tonight? I might go to the party tonight. I might go. He wanted to go, but not sure. I might go. Okay. May and might are used in conditional sentences, especially in second conditional. If I won the lottery, I might travel. Really, he did not get the lottery now. He did not win the lottery now. But if I won, if I got the lottery, I might travel. Only if he got the lottery, only he could travel. That is the usage here. However, I don't know. However, I don't know for sure. I might also buy a house. The difference between may and might is that may is more formal. Might also you can use, but may is more formal. The modal may is used to express permission or possibility. Permission. Yes, you may borrow my sweater. My closet may be too full. Closet means here not the cupboard. Okay, closet, cupboard. My closet may be too full. The modal might is used to express possibility. I might give some of my clothing to charity. I might give some of my clothing to charity. Must is a modal verb used to show obligation. Like all modal verbs, must is followed by a base verb. He must go. He must went. He must go on. We are not using. He must go. After the must, we have to use the verb one. Okay. He must go to class today. They must work tomorrow. Must is also used for show possibility and is used in a situation where the speaker is very certain. Okay. How he ate 3 pieces of cake. 3 pieces of cake. He must like cake. He must like means he must have liked the cake. He must have liked the cake. He must like the cake. This way you can use. Sometimes we will say that it's a must read book. Sometimes you might have heard that sentence. It's a must read book. That means it's a book that should be read. It's a book that must be read. Okay. So he must like cake. They worked for 12 hours today. They must be tired. They must be tired. What else? The modal must is used most often to express a requirement. Sometimes must is used to express an explanation. Requirement: we must conserve energy in our homes. Explanation: my brother must have left the lights on. What is the requirement here? Must conserve the energy, save the energy in our home. What is the explanation? My brother must have left the lights on. Should is one of the most important modal verbs in English. Recommendation, advice, obligation. These three are the duties of should. You should see the new Spider-Man movie. You should try. Is an advice or recommendation. Advice what? You should eat less sugar. You should not smoke. Is advice. Should not smoke. Advice. We can say also you don't smoke. But that time it will become a command. You see the difference? You don't smoke. What is that? It's a command. Okay, but here it's an advice. You should not smoke. You should not smoke. It's an advice. Okay, obligation. What is that? I should get back to work. It is time to get back to work. It is high time I got back to work. Okay, this is obligation. We should not be here. It is time we went from here. Should I study chapter 1 of chapter 2? How should I invest my money? It's an advice. Expectations. Should the dog be allowed in the house? Polite form of want. Would. Want is often too direct and can sometimes be rude. Would is more indirect and also more polite. Both meaning, want and would. The meaning of these both words are almost same, but would is more polite. Instead of do you want, say would you like. You see difference? Do you want? Would you like? Do you want a cup of tea? Do you like to have a cup of tea? Examples. Do you want a drink? Would you like a drink? Do you want to go? Would you like to go? The meaning is same, but the way of saying is different. Okay, the first one is just showing in a rude way. Sometimes the people will ask this type of question, but here it is showing the politeness. Would you like a drink? Invitations. Would you like is used for polite invitation. Would you like to go to a party tonight? Would you like to watch a movie with me? Offers also can be used in this way. Would you like is used for polite offers. Would you like a drink of water? Hypothetical situation. Would you use for situation or actions that are not real? This includes using would in the second condition and third condition. I would buy a car if I had more money. Here it is a situation, hypothetical. I would buy a car if I had more money. Here that means he doesn't have enough money to buy a car now, but if he had money he would have bought a car. You see, this is the meaning. I would buy a car if I had more money. I would have bought a car if I had. I would have had. That is the difference. More money. In these situations, would is normally the decision you make. If I found a wallet, I could return it or keep it. I should return it. However, I would keep the money and return the wallet. It's a funny one. Okay, and some situations just showing here. Modals. Would is used. There are many examples of this would here given, and just be very careful about this one while it is in use. So the modal would is used to express the conditional form of verb. In other words, it is used to express a situation that is contrary to fact. If the weather had been more pleasant, they would have gone on a picnic. It's about weather. Contrary to fact. Had been more pleasant, have gone on a picnic. Miss Chang would be happy to prepare food if you bring the plates for folks. Here now almost all our lesson is over. Now this is the time for practice. Choose the correct modal verb for these statements of ability. 8 years ago I dash play the piano. Can, could, will be able to. You see here, you have to look at the sentence first. 8 years ago, it's showing the past. Okay, this one is showing future. Will be able to. I will be able to do. It means not now or not in the past. It is showing the future. Can also may be showing the present. Okay, so the could is the apt one here because it is already displayed the first sentence or the first one as what? The past tense. Okay, so could. This way you have to choose the right answer. Okay, so in 3 years I drive. That means in 3 years. In 3 years, what's not in the past 3 years, but in the present now. And he is doing. Sometimes this person has been doing something, but here in 3 years means it is showing the future. In 3 years, within 3 years, I will drive. So here not will. So we can what use I will be able to. I already told you that will be able to is just showing the future. Okay, so this way you'll have to select the apt word, the correct word, the right word to fill in the blank. Okay, anyway, there are some slides. What you have to do is just pause the video here to read it full and complete the task. Okay, I am just going fast, not time. So thanks for watching. Here we are just going to wind up the class, and if you have any doubt, please feel free to ask me. Don't worry, and I will give you the answer the most appropriate time. Anyway, let's wind up. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.